3 things we learned on day 3 of the 2018 Australian Open. Hello, I'm Roger Federer, and you're watching Coffee Break Tennis. All right, thank you. Welcome to Coffee Break Tennis, the most talked about, most exciting, most laughed about, most thought of tennis talk show in the universe. I'm your host, Matt Bradshaw, and we're here in Atlanta, Georgia. Snowed in today. Very strange. Let's get into today's video. I gotta remind you really quick, Coffee Break Tennis is brought to you by Crunch Time Coaching. Crunch Time Coaching is a tennis instruction channel on YouTube. It is the best. If you want to learn how to play tennis, that's where you need to go. I'll put a card up there so you can click on it and subscribe. I put Coffee Break Tennis videos over there, and we got a new segment over there at Crunch Time Coaching called Post Match with Pete, where Pete goes live right after one of the most exciting matches, whichever we pick for the day finishes, and goes deep into analysis. Pete was a top-ranked junior in the nation, and he's a very good tennis player, a very good coach, knows a lot about tennis, so definitely check that out when you're up late. Number 1, the supercomputer is doing pretty good so far. So if you guys didn't see, I'll put a screen at the end of the video. I'll put a card up there. If you didn't see the video I made about the supercomputer that these Australian data analysts, scientists, geniuses over in Australia put together to predict the winners of the 2018 Australian Open. I made a whole video about it, so you can click on that and watch if you haven't had a chance. And normally I like to crumple up my articles after I'm done reading them and have my cat, Mr. Goat, recycle them, but I kept this one because I thought it might come up again, and I'm glad I did. So, Svitolina, that was the top pick by the Super Genius computer to win the women's tournament. Halep, Wozniacki, and then Venus, but a much smaller number for her. They gave her much less chance to win than the other 3. Venus is the only one to lose out of the 8 players, men and women combined, that the supercomputer picked. And it came close last night because Svitolina lost her first set, had to win in 3, pretty comfortable in the second and third set. Wozniacki, dangerously close, had to save match points, and I saw the commentators pointing out how she just dared her opponent on match point to go for the winner, and she just kept poking the ball in, and I can see how some people would think her game is boring. But for me, I play tennis, so I can appreciate it watching that, because I've been there before where you're terrified of losing, and you just keep hitting the ball, not very hard, don't want to hit it too hard, you might hit it out, you just hit it hard enough to keep it in, and you just hope and wait for your opponent to screw it up and they lose instead of you. I mean, let's face it, not everyone can play like I do, so I'm just happy that Mirka and the kids are there to watch, and if the rest of the world wants to watch me play, then so be it. Okay, thanks. Next question. So, since the supercomputer picked Roger Federer to win, you gotta watch the video if you want any more than that, but I'll tell you that much. They picked Fed to win. Anytime the computer is correct, that makes Fed heads happy. Myself, anyone who loves Federer, wants him to win this thing, should be very happy that Svitolina and Wozniacki came through last night. Halep, gotta see if she can hang in. She's had the ankle injury issue, and she'll be playing tomorrow. Or is it today? Tonight? Tomorrow? You know how it works with Australia time. So the number 1 thing we learned is that there's something to this supercomputer, and it's good news for Fed heads because so far 7 of the 8 that it predicted are still in it, and Venus, the only one who's out, had the lowest percentage of winning out of the 8 players. So, pretty good for the supercomputer through 2 rounds. Good news for Fed heads. Number 2 thing we learned is that Dimitrov, just like he has been for most of his career, is going to be completely unpredictable for any of us. Everything he does is a surprise, right? Last year, semifinal 5-set with Rafa, surprised us, right? Shocked us, pleasant surprise for most of us. Then early round losses at small events, surprising. Winning at Cincinnati, surprising. Winning the World Tour Finals back in November, surprising. Everything Dimitrov does is an up and down surprise, so don't put any money on Dimitrov and cross your fingers if you love the guy. I sure do. Hopefully he can get it together. Let's just look at some tweets. This is from Tennis Fan. Coffee Break 10s, I think you were right about Grigor. McDonald's a great young talent, but last year's Australian Open, Grigor wins that match in straight sets. I can't see him getting past Kyrgios in the quarterfinals if he even makes it. And then here's Akash, who just followed me on Twitter yesterday. If you guys want to follow me, it's at Coffee Break 10s, T-E-N-S. Couldn't fit the whole word tennis in the name. Here's Akash. Every time someone subscribes to me, I take a look at them, and if they don't look like a robot, I follow you right back. Did I say subscribe? In Twitter, it's called following. In YouTube, it's called subscribing. I follow you right back because I like to see what you guys think. It's really important to me. So comment below what you guys think because I love reading comments. I love using them on the show. Sometimes it's hard to work them in, but I try to. So here's Akash on the tennis court. He looks like he's got a pretty good game. And Akash sent me, here we go. I don't know how he got it because I couldn't get the darn thing to work. But this looks like pretty reliable for match stats. So we were complaining about Dimitrov's first serve numbers, right? The really low in the 50s percentage. And McDonald goes 5 sets, only getting 58% of the first serve in. Here's what happened. So Dimitrov must have watched the show and said, all right, I'm going to fix that. And he's getting 70% first serve in. And the aces, the double faults. I mean, more double faults than aces, Grigor. Come on. 8 aces, 9 double faults. What are you doing to us? 70% first serve in, 77 win on first serve is pretty good. 28% win on second serve percentage for Dimitrov. Out of 46 second serves that Dimitrov put in the box, he only won 13 points. Is that right? 46, 13 points. And of course, in one of these weird, cruel matches, McDonald, 150 total points won, 148 Dimitrov. McDonald loses, but wins more points overall. Is Dimitrov going to be ready for Kyrgios? I mean, is he going to get there? He's going to have to beat Rublev. That's going to be really tough. And remember, correct me if I'm wrong down below, fact checkers out there, didn't Rublev knock Dimitrov off at the U.S. Open in the round of 16? Right before the much-anticipated Nadal match? So, the much-anticipated Kyrgios versus Dimitrov match, which Kyrgios will have to get through Tsonga. That might be tough. Tsonga might be invigorated. Remember, this is Tsonga's best tournament. 10 years ago, exactly 10 years ago, Tsonga, who did he destroy? Nadal. Tsonga crushed Nadal, hit like 50 winners in 3 sets. I'll never forget that match because Djokovic beats Federer, and this first time Federer's lost before a final in a major in like 4 years straight. And Djokovic beats Fed. Fed has mono, we later find out. And Nadal has no mono. He has no excuse. He gets blown off the court by Tsonga, who was just on fire. I don't think Tsonga's played a match that well ever since. In the semifinals, Tsonga loses to Djokovic, Djokovic's first major, 10 years ago. 10 years ago. So maybe Tsonga's thinking about that 10-year thing, and we're going to see a little magic from him. That might be fun. But who knows if we're going to get to see Kyrgios versus Dimitrov, and how's Dimitrov going to get ready for that with that second serve number now? I mean, there's clearly some kind of serving problems. The first serve was better, but the second serve is 28%. That's shocking, especially against a qualifier, and when you get all the weapons that Dimitrov has. You know, look at how Roger managed to, I think Roger's first round, what did he have, like a 60% win on second serve? So more than twice what Dimitrov had. And finally, the number 3 thing we learned on third round day. And there were other things, but I wanted to make the 3 big ones for me. These are the 3 big ones. So we're talking about people who didn't lose. I'd love to talk about Shapovalov because that was a very interesting match, but he's out. Let's talk about who's still there. Another one who's out, Bencic. I get that totally wrong. And it makes the Super Genius computer look great because who could have predicted that Bencic was going to lose to Kumkum? The number 3 thing we learned is that Rafa is for real, and I'll add into that, Kyrgios is looking pretty for real as well. Let's look at their stats. So typical Nadal serving numbers, 4 aces, 1 double fault, 73% first serve in, very high, very typical for Rafa. This is how he likes to play. The average serve speed was a lot slower than Meyer, a lot slower than Kyrgios, a lot slower than Kyrgios. But Nadal is hitting the spots, getting the serve in, and converting 80% win on first serve, 60% win on second serve. Kyrgios over here, 84% win on first, 50 on second, and 17 aces. I mean, that comes in handy. And it's 199, almost an average serve of 200 kilometers per hour for Kyrgios. That's 17 kilometers an hour faster than Rafa's average. And look at the score lines. We saw really similar score lines. Nadal 6-3, 6-4, win in a tiebreak. Kyrgios 7-5, 6-4, win in a tiebreak. So Kyrgios' first set a little tougher than Rafa's first set. And like I said, in if you guys, I know I put it up pretty late, so a lot of people didn't see it. But I put up a video last night saying these are the matches I'm looking out for tonight. And it was two of these were two of the matches I was looking out for because Mayer, Troitsky, tougher opponents in the first round opponents. Didn't learn so much from the first round opponents because these were like these clay court specialists, low-ranked guys. And now we got some guys who know how to play some hard court tennis, and Rafa and Nick Kyrgios passed the tests big time. So I don't know if we'll see Dimitrov make it to Kyrgios. And of course, I got to say, I trust Rafa a lot more than Kyrgios because you never know when Kyrgios is going to turn into the other Nick Kyrgios. But I don't know, guys. I got a feeling about Nick Kyrgios. He might be pretty for real. We don't know if we'll see Dimitrov and Kyrgios meet, but I'm pretty sure we're going to see Rafa and Kyrgios meet. So, please subscribe to the channel. Give us a thumbs up. Helps me out a lot. I put a lot of work into this YouTube channel and these videos. It takes a lot of time and effort. I love doing it. I love you guys out there. Comment below. Let me know what you think about Rafa and Kyrgios. Am I onto something here? Because I'm sensing that they got some real momentum. Let me know what you think about Dimitrov. I love the guy. I love his game. I hope for him. But some of these serving numbers pretty startling. Let me know. Let me know what you guys think about the supercomputer. And of course, if you haven't watched it, there's my supercomputer video up there. Over here, post-match with Pete, new segment over at Coffee Break. Over at Crunch Time Coaching. So make sure you watch post-match with Pete over there. Pete has a great tennis mind, a high tennis IQ, incredible understanding of the game, of stroke mechanics. Like I said, he was a top-ranked junior in the United States in his heyday. So go over there and watch post-match with Pete. And that's it for me, guys. Thanks for watching Coffee Break Tennis. Can't wait to read your comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe. See ya!